Yo, what's up? You know who it is, KT with Voice TV, and I'm here with my man today, Roosevelt. What's good, brother?
What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
you
oh
having me
yeah,
here. You
no
got
doubt.
two beautiful vehicles right here. You know, so before we get into that, man, what made you get into cars like originally?
I guess it's been a lifelong thing, man. Ever since I've been a kid, I've always liked cars and motorcycles. Anything to go fast. My parents never drove fast, but I get in the car with one of my cousins, and boy, they want to see how fast they can go. So that's where that love came, man. Just fast cars, motorcycles, definitely muscle cars, man.
So what is it about muscle cars that you like?
It's that sound, man. You can't beat the sound, boy. When you hit that throttle and she rev up and you let off of it and that cam just start clicking, that lick, man. It's all about that lick.
Can you tell people about the Chevelle? What year? You said the engine, but just break down the Chevelle a little bit.
Okay, all right, I can definitely do that. It's a 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle. Has a 396 in there, 4-speed Muncie transmission. All that stock. One thing about this car is my dad bought it new. So this car has been in my family ever since 1969. I told him he must have been trying to get his last hurrah in before I got here in 1970. I guess back in probably the early 80s, it set for a while. I mean, when I say a while, I mean it was sitting on blocks in my parents' backyard, and I used to jump in it. Me and a buddy of mine, shout out to Dino, we sit back there and just sit there and drive on the bricks. It was just rolling. I went up to school. Shout out to North Carolina A&T. Went to A&T, and one day I came home and the car was gone. And Corey, you should have seen my face, brother. I looked at my mom and she was like, "I ain't got nothing to do with that. Go talk to your daddy." And so I went and talked to him, and a cousin of mine had actually talked him out of it. He had let my cousin get it, and so I was relieved at that because it was still in the family. But at the same time, I called my cousin. I told him, I said, "Hey man, if you ever get rid of that Chevelle, you need to call me." And back in, I think it was 2005, he gave me a call and he said, "You still want the Chevelle?" I said, "Man, give me 10 minutes. I'll call you right back." I jumped up, threw some clothes on, and jumped on the interstate and headed to Spartanburg. I called him. I said, "I don't know what my price going to be, but whatever it is, we're going to make this work today." And I got it back in 2005.
So, being that your father had it, it's just been in the family. I know you had children. Do you look at it as a sort of heirloom?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the Chevelle, and I have the truck. So I have two boys, and I definitely, I let them argue on who gets the car, who gets the truck, or they can switch it up. If they live in the same city, one keep one for 6 months, one keep the other. However they want to do it. I mean, I'll be gone because that's when they'll get it once I'm gone, not any day before. But yeah, definitely something to pass down, man. I told them, whatever you do, I mean, if hard times come, you can sell the truck, but always keep the car.
Go ahead and explain what kind of truck this is.
Yeah, this is a 55 Chevy truck. It's what they call second series. In 55, around the May, June time point, they switched the body style. So you'll always hear 1955 Chevy truck. And next question is going to be, what series, first or second? The 55 first series had more the shape of like the earlier model 50 trucks. In 55, they changed and started this series. So 55, 56, 57 all look very familiar. There's some modifications on the hoods, some side panels. The grill is a little different, but out of the three, I like the 55. I just like the sleek look of it. I did a little bit of changes to it. I took the single lights out, In the front, I modified and closed those off. They normally would sit below the headlight. I just wanted to do something a little different. And for me, this was a truck that was a second vehicle. And I said, I'm going to do, some of the things that people might not like, I'm going to do them. It's my truck,
Right.
So what? I mean, the thing is, if somebody ever bought it or if I ever sold it, they can go back and do what they want to do. They sell a panel where you can recut the holes, but I like it the way I got it. There's some modifications in there. It's got the Mustang 2 front end on there for your low profile performance, handling curves. Put a 700 R4 transmission. That gives you that overdrive gear for when you're driving on the highway. Used to have a turbo 350, and that just wasn't enough for me because I like to get out and cruise, and sometimes not just locally. I'll go to South Carolina, or I go to Greensboro, or Columbia, or we'll go west in them, wherever the guys want to ride out to, and I just need that overdrive gear for the highway.
Would you say you have 2 Chevys? So would you say you're a Chevy guy?
Yeah, I would.
Or just worked out like that?
Yeah, I would say I'm a Chevy guy, and it did work out like that. I like the other muscle cars. I mean, I got friends with Fords and Dodges and just other brands, but I'm definitely a Chevy man. I mean, I like Chevrolet. If I'm gonna go buy something, it's gonna be Chevrolet as far as old school goes. I appreciate you coming out, man. Definitely anything I can do to help, on the car scene. I mean, I love going to shows, man. We gotta get you out to SEMA. That's out there in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, man, you get out there, you ain't gonna want to go home because I mean they got it all. They got it all.
Man.
Some local shows too, man. I mentioned maybe there's a big C10 show coming up here this weekend. Maybe we could check that out, man. It's if it's dealing with old school cars, I'm there.
Right,
I'm there.
right.
And definitely too. Like all your listeners to know, on the third Thursday of each month at Wild Wings, the old Bar Louis, we do a cruise in. If you don't have an old school car, that doesn't matter. Come out and check us out, man. It's all good fellowship. We have a good time. We talk a little junk, but everybody is laid back and ready to talk cars or whatever the issue of the day is. You can get some knowledge. So definitely come out.
Appreciate it again,
All right,
brother.
brother. Anytime.
All right, now.
Appreciate it.
We out of here. Peace.
All right.